Tonight, the 7 investigators are revealing a problem cop's startling misconduct that his own department never knew about.
It's just the latest example in our ongoing investigation, revealing how officers have been able to leave one agency under a cloud of controversy, only to join another.
Here's 7 investigator Ross Jones.
It's 8 o'clock on the morning of December 4th, 2020, and Oakland County Sheriff's Deputy Greg Marohn is behind the wheel at the start of his shift.
Tickets at 81.
His dash camera just began recording, not because Marohn turned it on, but because he's driving so fast. At more than 90 miles per hour, it kicks on automatically. It's not clear if Marohn realized he was being recorded.
Take the next right onto Dutton Road.
Marohn is on duty, in uniform, and in his sheriff's vehicle, but this trip is not about police business. Listen as the deputy sends a voice-to-text message from his phone.
I'm going to need a few minutes, or I don't know what, because I need to go to the bank, so it's kind of messed up right now. I have enough to loan you the 100.
He was sending texts to a man he would later admit he'd been purchasing Schedule II narcotics from without a prescription.
Give the money to you tomorrow, I guess, unless you have it or you have the pills already.
Marohn admitted to meeting the man on duty in uniform, and the dash cam captured more.
You little evil. Imagine this.
While arranging the meetup, Deputy Marohn passes a dark-skinned woman walking her dog and begins hurling racist slurs.
Imagine monkeys. Whatever you are. They get a nice house and they actually think that there's something.
When the sheriff's office discovered the video, they opened an investigation. According to sources, Marohn admitted to buying Schedule II narcotics on duty. He said he'd done it before, about 10 different times. Coupled with his racist rant, the sheriff's office moved to fire Marohn, reporting to the Michigan Commission on Law Enforcement Standards that he resigned in lieu of termination for conduct unbecoming, a warning to any department looking to hire him.
It's a huge red flag. You know, if we saw that, one of our background investigators saw that in their background, we would stop the background and be done with it. We wouldn't even take a chance on it.
They wouldn't, but another department did.
He was a good officer. He treated the people of Holly and the staff here with respect.
Chief Jerry Narsh hired Marohn at the Holly PD in March of 2022, without, he admits today, fully understanding just why he left his job with the sheriff. A little over a year into Marohn's time in Holly, he would get an idea. Last July 4th records show Marohn arrived for work and appeared unwell. He had extreme difficulties using his police radio, according to an investigation, repeatedly dropped his cell phone, and when he got behind the wheel, couldn't drive faster than 10 miles per hour. He was taken to the hospital where a blood test was positive for buprenorphine, prescribed to help treat opioid addiction, along with another drug that Holly police would not reveal. They said Marohn had prescriptions for both, but hadn't disclosed either. Marohn said he was under treatment for medical and sleep conditions and did not wish to harm the department. He resigned. Chief Narsh told us there were no warning signs in Marohn's background investigation.
And there was nothing specific or anything relating to addiction or medical issues that was discovered in his file.
Are you sure about that?
I'm quite sure.
We showed him the dashcam video we just shared with you.
He called the woman a monkey. He called the woman the N-word. He admitted to buying Schedule II narcotics in uniform on duty. And you hired him.
Not knowing that.
Well, and that's kind of the point, isn't it?
Well, it is.
To be clear, Holly PD did conduct a background investigation into Marohn, just not a complete one. They reviewed his personnel file, but never saw the investigation that triggered his ouster. Efforts by Chief Narsh to obtain a copy were turned down by a county clerk. But instead of digging further, the chief says he took Marohn's word for why he was forced out. He said it was for a poor driving history.
This is going to sound like a dumb question, but is it ever smart to hire a police officer without knowing exactly why his last department got rid of him?
Bob Stevenson is executive director of the Michigan Association of Chiefs of Police.
We feel very strongly that as part of the background check, you have to interview and talk with all previous employers that a person has worked for.
But in the case of Greg Marohn, the sheriff's office says Holly never reached out to his supervisors, not his sergeant, lieutenant, captain, major, or undersheriff. They did talk to two references that Marohn provided who didn't mention what we uncovered.
How could you hire a guy and miss that?
Well, and I think that's what we're trying to fix and resolve, right? And how that we miss people like this, because that individual would not work for the Holly Police Department.
But he did.
But he did.
Greg Marohn did not respond to repeated texts, calls, and a letter seeking comment. He is not currently policing. Chief Jerry Narsh told me after our interview that he is now reviewing and revising the department's background investigation procedures in light of our story. And the Michigan Commission on Law Enforcement Standards, which is supposed to ensure that officers like Marohn don't slip through the cracks, tells me that in this case, Marohn did because of past understaffing challenges in their office. They believe their current staffing levels would prevent something like this from happening today. I'm Ross Jones, 7 News Detroit.